Hello, hello, and welcome to another episode of the
Latin
Voices.
voices.
Happy and Blessed Thursday for those who are on Thursday, Happy and Blessed Friday for those who are on Friday. So let's find out what is our topic for today.
Our topic for today. Oh, yeah. Our topic for today is what makes someone ready for a new chapter.
Thank you, Jessie. Okay, so that's our topic for today. But before we dive into our topic, let us introduce ourselves. So, hi everyone, my name is Sandy. I'm originally from Panama, but currently reside in Surrey, British Columbia, Canada. I also work in the movie industry, and I'm a proud digital business owner and mentor.
Hello, hi everyone. My name is Yesenia, but everyone knows me as Jessie. I'm a nurse by profession. I live here in Ontario, Canada, but I'm original from Cuba. I have my business online and I'm a mentor.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. My name is Isabel. I'm originally from Mexico. I now reside in North Carolina. I am a mom, a wife, a grandmother, and a former educational assistant, now a digital business owner and mentor.
Thank you, ladies. And let's dive into our topic for today.
Okay, so our topic for today on Latin Voice is what makes someone ready for a new chapter. So stay with us. If you want to move from that chapter and want to know why, stay with us.
Thank you, Jessie. So, welcome back to another episode of Latin Voices. So, we would like to begin today with a simple question. How do you know when you're ready for a new chapter in your life? Many people they feel completely prepared or completely confident or completely certain. But the truth is, very few of us feel 100% ready. Growth often begins before certainty. So today we'll look at three signs that may tell us, we're more ready for than we think. So for that, we're going to be talking about the following points.
Okay, so today we have 3 points. You begin seeing possibilities instead of just problems. Number 2, you're willing to learn something new. And number 3, you choose progress over perfection.
Thank you, Isabel. So yes, those are the points we're going to be talking today. So let's dive into our first point.
Our first point is you begin seeing possibility instead of just problem. How many times or how many seasons in our life we have think about that something is going, like something is wrong. You start thinking yourself, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough experience, I'm too old, but then some things change. The circumstance may not change immediately, but the way that we start seeing, that's what it changed. And suddenly we start asking actually the right question. What is happening to me? And how could I do with this situation? We start learning, and that shift is powerful, because sometimes being ready for a new chapter doesn't mean having everything, figured it out and all map up. It means you're finally able to see possibilities where you once saw a problem. Why we saying this? Problems can becomes an invitation if we look at it. When we start seeing problems, think about it. It's an invitation. Invitation to what? Then invitation to keep going, invitation to learning from that problem. Doesn't mean stop. Sometimes it just mean let's think differently. You're frustrated with your job, maybe because it's not what you expected. And then you are complaining. But maybe if you just start learning a new skill, you will not feel that stuck. You are tired of repeating the same routine. Maybe you are discomfort. But you need to see, okay, why I'm discomfort here. Maybe I need to move on. Let me see what this experience is teaching me. The problem may still be real. The problem is be there, but your response at that change of that problem is how you ask yourself what this situation is teaching me, what possibility I can learn from it. So, and then when we start seeing the problems and we start asking the right questions, we're starting seeing the results. Maybe like a door closed. Okay, I'm not ready now. That door was closed. I'm not ready now, but okay, what did I learn? Maybe I need to study a little more. Maybe I need to learn a new skill. Maybe I need to feel comfortable with myself. Maybe I just need a little bit more time. But if I start asking the right questions, that's when I'm gonna start seeing different results. That's change of questioning can shift your mindset, and then you start looking for possibilities. Oh, I need to learn how to sew. Okay, let me start watching videos how to sew. I need to learn how to do rice without burning. Then let me sew a couple video. Maybe ask someone they know how to do the rice. We start seeing different things. Because seeing those possibilities, we create that momentum, because we overthink, we hesitate, and then we wait. So we wait for everything in our life. Oh no, it's not the time. I'll learn it later. Oh, I will talk to them later, and then we don't ask the right question. We don't meet, and we stay ourselves with the same problem. So I leave you with this. Like I also feel like in my life it was a moment I didn't feel like I didn't have all the answers. I didn't know like what to do things, or I felt stuck. And you probably have feel like that several times, but I learned that I didn't need to see the entire road. Sometimes I just need to know what do I want, and trust on myself and start seeing how to get there. And that is what changed. Your next chapter may not be when everything become easy. It may be when you stop looking at every obstacle, a reason to stop and start looking to an opportunity to grow. You may not be able to control everything, but you just trust the process and trust yourself, and you can make it. Change your perspective, and you will see those problems becoming an opportunity.
Thank you, Jesse. So Jesse talk about you begin seeing possibilities instead of just problems. So when just like Jesse mentioned, when you have a growth mindset, it will help you to replace those fears with curiosity. So that will allow you to have those challenges to become opportunities, and to be able to see them also as new perspectives to create new beginnings. Jesse also added, a new chapter begins when you start seeing possibilities instead of problems. So there you go. So now let's move on to our second point.
Okay, so our second point today is um, you're willing to learn something new. There was a time when I believed that my years of experience were enough to prepare me for whatever came next. I had worked for over 2 decades. I raised my children, and I learned how to handle responsibilities that life placed in front of me. But when I decided I wanted a different future, I realized something powerful. My experience was valuable, but I still needed to become a student again. You know, when I started this journey, I didn't know how to build an online business. I had to learn technology, social media, and I had to learn how to share my story. I had to learn how to speak with confidence and step in front of people even when I was uncomfortable. Because believe me, the beginning wasn't easy, and it was hard, to get in front of people and start talking. And there was plenty of moments when I thought maybe I'm just too old for this, or this is not for me. But I stopped asking myself whether I already knew enough, and I started asking, what can I learn next to get better? The simple question changed my mindset. So, every training taught me something. I was learning from my mistakes. I was learning from every person that I was meeting. And I slowly became a woman who was learning. That same person that was intimidated by technology became a woman who embraced learning, share what she knew, and mentor others, and continue challenging myself. That's the beauty of growth. You know, you don't have to become a completely different person. You simply keep adding to who you already are. So if you're looking at your life and thinking, I don't know enough to start, just remember this. You don't need to know everything. You just need to be willing to learn the next thing, because the next chapter of your life may require skills that your current chapter hasn't taught you yet. But if you're willing to become a beginner again, maybe, the very thing that prepares you for the opportunity you've been asking for is, those challenges that you're taking, that learning that you're taking, those courses that you're taking are preparing you for that. So that's what I have. Thank you.
Gracias, Isabel. Bueno, Isabel nos habló. Oh, sorry. Thank you, Isabel. Isabel talked to us about you're willing to learn something new. So, just like Isabel mentioned, when you embrace continuous learning and knowing that every new skills and lessons will help you to build that confidence and will help you also to prepare you for the next chapter of your life. So there you go. Now let's move on to our next point. So our next point is you choose progress over perfection. So one of the biggest signs that you're ready for a new chapter is when you stop chasing perfection and start choosing progress instead. So many people delay their dreams because they're waiting for the perfect time, the perfect plan, or the confidence to magically appear. But the truth is, those things usually come after we begin, not before. So progress is built through small, consistent steps. Every action we take teaches something new. Every experience helps us improve. So we don't gain confidence by waiting, we gain confidence by doing. So the first step may feel uncomfortable, but it also creates momentum, and momentum has a way of carrying us farther than we ever imagined. I can certainly relate to this. There were many times when I wanted everything to be perfect before taking action. When I started my digital business, I didn't know everything. I wasn't comfortable speaking on camera, hosting live sessions, or sharing my story publicly. In fact, I still continue to grow in those areas today. But if I had waited until I felt completely ready, I would probably still be waiting. So instead, I choose progress. One life at a time, one lesson at a time, one conversation at a time. So looking back, I'm grateful I started before I felt fully prepared because every step taught me something I couldn't have learned by standing still. So maybe you're in that place today. Perhaps you've been waiting for the perfect moment to learn a new skill, start a project, or make a positive change in your life. My encouragement is simple. Don't let perfection keep you making don't let perfection uh, keep you from making progress. The journey doesn't begin when everything is perfect, it begins when you decide to take the first step. So, as today's reflection reminds us, you don't have to be perfectly ready. You simply need to be willing to learn and to begin. So, here's the message for you guys. Progress always starts with one courageous step. Don't wait for perfection to give you permission to move forward. Start where you are, keep learning, and trust that every small step you take today is preparing you for the opportunities of tomorrow. So that's what I wanted to share for this point. So now let's find out what is our key takeaway for this topic.
Our key takeaway for you, if it's there one message we like you to remember, is this: a new chapter doesn't begin because everything suddenly become easy. It begins because you decided to keep growing. You become curious, you continue learning, and you choose progress over perfection. No matter where you are today, trust that every lesson you learn has prepared you for what comes next. Your next chapter may be closer than you think.
Thank you, Jessie. So that's our key takeaway for our topic today. So now let's find out what is our reflective question for our audience.
So as you reflect today, ask yourself, What is one sign that tells you you're ready for a new chapter? Then identify one small step you can take this week to begin moving forward.
Thank you, Isabel. So that's a reflective question for the audience. And we have arrived to the end of our lives. So we hope so what we shared today, what makes someone ready for a new chapter. Uh, we help will help you, the tips that we shared today. Remember, when you're ready for a new chapter, not when you have all the answers, but when you're willing to embrace those possibilities. Keep learning and take the first step, because growth begins with courage and not with certainty. So now let's find out what is our topic for next Thursday.
All right, we will see you next Thursday here on Latin Voices. We're going to be talking about the hidden strength many immigrants don't recognize. So if you want to know what all these hidden strengths are, we see you next Thursday.
Thank you, Jesse. So that's what we're going to be talking next Thursday. So it will be a conversation about resilience, adaptability, language learning, perseverance, and how the strengths developed through the immigrant journey often become some of life's greatest assets. So there you go. So that will be the end for our live today. We want to say thank you to everyone that has watched the live with us today. For those catching the replay, thank you so much. And to our community, thank you so much for being here with us. We also want to say thank you to Lucy Kosumo for watching it, for the for the heart emoji, and also to Gobi Gobi for the like emoji. So thank you again for being here with us today, and we want to wish everyone a happy Thursday and a happy Friday for those who are on Tuesday or Thursday or Friday. So, and a happy weekend ahead for everyone. So thank you again for being here with us, and we'll see you again in our next episode of the
Latin
Latin
Voices.
voices.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks, y'all.